Hey guys, so my name is Christina and I'm from the DC, Maryland area and I am moving to Barcelona. And the way I'm able to do that is with a Spanish government program called Auxiliares de Conversación. And that's basically a program where you are a language teaching assistant in Spain somewhere and you get a monthly stipend. And yeah, it's supposed to be like a really great opportunity. This is my first year doing the program. So a little bit about the program. How it works is, so the application portal opens at the beginning of January. And before you start applying, it's good to have your documents in order. And by that I mean having a passport and having like the paperwork filled out and just kind of going through the list on the website of the required materials that you're going to need before the portal opens up, so that once the portal opens up you're able to just quickly type in and fill in all the information and then be ready to go with your inscrita number. So once you submit your application you get a number and that number is your application number. So my number when I applied was 390 or 391, which means that I was the 390th or 91st person to submit an application. And that's a relatively low number because the application numbers go all the way into like 5,000s, maybe 6,000s. So my best advice if you want to do this program is to make sure that you submit your application in the day the application portal opens. I've heard a lot of people complaining in the past about how the website will crash, but I didn't experience any of that. When I had finally submitted my application in, it was the day that the application portal had opened, and it was maybe 2 to 2.5 hours since they were receiving applicants, and that was the number that I got. So the benefit of having a low number is that you're more likely to get your top choice of placement, and you just are given your information quickly because you're kind of first in line. So they're processing your stuff first before the person who has number like 1706 or something like that. So yeah, that's really nice, especially if you're like kind of nervous and you're like really anxious and you just want to know what the deal is with your placement and everything. It's just good to have the lower number to be able to just get your information as soon as it's coming in. So the way placement works is on the application you are given 3 top choices as to regions where you want to be placed, and for that I had chosen Catalonia, Andalusia, and Madrid. Now bear in mind that the region of Catalonia had not been a place where they were accepting language assistance for a really long time because it's really unclear to me what happened in the past, but it seems like there were funding issues and teacher assistants were not getting paid on time, and it just really seemed to be a really big mess. But something seemed to happen where they were able to get their funds in order, and this is the first year they're reopening the area for language assistance. So I'm really lucky, and when I was filling out my application I also clicked that I wanted to be placed in an urban setting. And so because of that I got placed in Barcelona. So my school is maybe 20 minutes away from the city center, which is really great. So, and I want to live in the city center. I want to be in the thick of it all. I'm very much a city person, so I have no problem making that commute. I know Barcelona has like a city bike share program that you can pay a yearly fee to be a part of, and I plan on just biking to my school as my commute, and I only have to work 12 hours a week, which is really great. And I've been in communication with my school all summer, and one of the teachers told me that they're really willing to kind of consolidate as many of my hours as possible so that I can take full advantage of my free time when I'm outside of school, which is really kind and generous of them, and something that I wasn't even thinking about before we had started our communication process. So with regards to the timeline of me hearing back from everything, I submitted my application, I believe sometime early January, like maybe January 6th or January 9th. I don't really remember the date that the application portal opened, but whatever specific date opened, that's when I submitted everything. And then I got my confirmation email with my application number. And then I joined a bunch of Facebook groups because that's really helpful, because there are well-seasoned people who have done this program for 2, 3, 4 years at this point. And they know what the game is. They know, they're just very well informed on most things regarding this program, because the downside about this program is all of the Spanish bureaucracy that you have to go through, and everything is just really unclear on the website. So it's hard to just like Google something and find it, but there are people who have done this several times before, and so the Facebook groups are very helpful for questions that you might have, or if you're nervous about going abroad and this is your first time, or trying to convince your family that you're going to be just fine doing this program. These Facebook groups are really great support groups and like great ways to network with people, especially if you're in a place like Madrid or somewhere else where they've always had a consistent amount of language assistance. They're really great ways to connect with people in those cities and kind of ease yourself in, or to try and find someone who maybe worked at the school you're placed in last year and just kind of talk to them and get a feel of what the deal is for the upcoming year and what that playing field is going to look like and things like that. But yeah, so I applied in January. I was confirmed in May, I believe, like somewhere around mid-May. I got an email saying you've been accepted into the program, into the Catalonia region. You have 3 days to either accept the position or decline. And if you decline the position, you can always reapply, and you know, you'll be accepted again in the future. If like, you know, if you're applying to this program and applying to grad school and you end up getting into grad school and that's what you want to commit to, you can totally do that, and apply to the program and do it at a later time in life. But you can't accept a position to the program and then maybe 2.5 months later in the summer be like, I don't want to do it, and just kind of like bail out. That's when it gets kind of sticky, and you may not be able to do the program in the future, just because it's kind of like, it's just not cool to commit to something and have people start planning things for you and then just to like bail without like a legitimate excuse. So something to keep in mind. And then I found out that I got placed in Barcelona probably around July, end of June, early July, because I think I found out that I was placed before 4th of July. So that was what the turnaround time was. And yeah, so with the Facebook groups, I had already been a part of the previous year's general Facebook group and the Facebook group for Madrid, just because it's the second biggest one. So it's just like good to kind of like read up on what people are talking about, to get a feel for what you're getting yourself into. And then I joined the Facebook group for this upcoming year, 2016 to 2017. And I joined a group for Catalonia, like the region that I'll be teaching in. And then even further, someone made a Barcelona group, which is really helpful. So I'm in several Facebook groups. And it's really cool. Everyone is really excited. The school year is about to start. There's already heaps of people who are already there getting situated. I'm leaving in 2 days. Today's Friday. My flight is on Sunday. I get there Monday morning. I have an overnight flight. But yeah, that's kind of what's happening right now, and I'm really excited. I have no idea where I'm living. I've booked a few nights in a hostel in the city, and thanks to the Facebook groups, I've been chatting with a couple of other girls in the program who are interested in living together. So once I'm there, they'll already be there, and we're gonna look for somewhere to stay together. Hopefully we can find a reasonably priced 3-bedroom apartment in the city, and that'll be it. But yeah, so that's kind of what my plans are right now. Is I'm leaving Sunday. I have a full week to kind of get things together, like an apartment, a bank account, my foreign citizen card. It's like some sort of ID card that you're supposed to have. Just like adult things that I'm not really sure how to do in the States, let alone do abroad. I mean, I speak fluent Spanish. I'm not terrified of doing these things, but they are kind of things that are starting to stress me out because I've never done anything like it before. So, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And I'm really excited to meet people doing this program. I have a couple of acquaintances that I know in Barcelona because I was backpacking a little bit in Europe earlier this year. And I had a friend living in Spain doing a documentary, and she had some language exchange partners that she was really friendly with, and so we kind of got to chatting and became, you know, friends in the moment. And then I came home for the summer to work and everything, and now that I'm moving back, I sent them a couple messages on Facebook to be like, hey, don't know if you remember me, but I'm coming back to the city to live long term. I don't really have any friends there. If you guys want to meet up and like grab a drink or something, let me know. And they are so excited to just like hang out, and they're so kind. So I'm not really going into this blindly. I've been to the city before. I speak Spanish. I kind of have some friends there, but it's still going to be a brand new experience for me. I don't really know what to fully expect being in Barcelona for that long of a period of time, but I'm sure it's going to be such a blast. But yeah, like I said, I'm arriving the Monday of September 26th, and school starts October 3rd, so I have a week to get everything together, and then I'll have my first day of school on October 3rd, and somewhere in between those two dates, there's like an orientation for people who are placed in Barcelona. There's like an overall orientation in Madrid as well that happened earlier in September, but it's not mandatory, and I didn't go because it was before my flight to Spain, and from what I've heard of people in the past talking about it, they've said that it was kind of pointless. By all means, if you have any interest in going and you just like want to go, definitely go. They put you up in a hotel room for an evening and everything, but for me, it just wasn't practical trying to change my flight dates and things like that. So that's also something that you might want to keep on your radar if you're considering doing the program. Also, if you're going to do this program, something else you're going to have to think about is getting a visa, because there aren't really that many requirements for this program. Like, you don't have to have an education background. All you really need is, you know, at least a basic understanding of Spanish. I majored in anthropology and international relations in college, never really wanting to teach, but I figured this would be like a really cool opportunity to like be abroad long term. You will also need to get a background check that's apostilled. I'm in Maryland. What I did was I got the state background check. It cost about $36. I went to Ellicott City, I got it done there, and then it came in the mail about 5 days later, probably less. Like, the turnaround time to get it back was very fast. And then I drove that to Annapolis to get it apostilled and sealed. And that's all I really had to do. I'm very fortunate that I did not have to go through the hectic process that was getting a visa, because I have a European passport because of my mom's side of the family. I have a Dutch passport, so that's not something I have to worry about. But if you are an American and you only have the blue passport, that's totally fine. You just have to plan, you know, getting your visa. So once you get your official offering in your region, in your city, and you get the school that you're going to be working at, you have to book your visa appointment. You have to go to the consulate, the embassy, whatever it is in the nearest city near you. That's what you have to start focusing on, because the turnaround time for that, I've heard, is very strenuous, very long, and confusing. So if you make a mistake, you have like buffer time to get it fixed and still be able to leave for Spain on time. But yeah, that's basically all you really need requirement-wise for the program. And you know, the rest of the summer you just kind of have to start thinking about what you're going to bring. I'm bringing one large suitcase, a carry-on, and just like a little bag on the plane. Yeah, and then the rest you just kind of have to wing and see how it goes. And I think that's probably like the most fun part, is just kind of being like, I'm going abroad and I'm going to be here and this is my new life now. So I think that's just kind of something that everyone is gearing themselves up to do for the most part, once you have all of the official boring paperwork stuff done. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm more than happy to continue talking about the program for anyone else who's interested in doing it, especially in Barcelona, since this is the first year they're doing it in a really long time. But yeah, guys, please definitely like shout out if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help. But yeah, thanks for watching and I'll talk to you guys soon.